invitation for the expert lecture on root cause analysis RCA for troubleshooting and industry oriented application. Dear students, greetings from the School of EEE. We, the School of EEE, Reva University, Bangalore, organizing a expert lecture on root cause analysis for troubleshooting and industry oriented application as a part of the knowledge sharing program for the benefit of the students and the faculty members. Resource person Professor Anand MH, Assistant Professor, School of EEE, Reva University. So let me introduce his profile. Anand MH, Assistant Professor, School of EEE, Reva University, who holds his BE degree in the Electrical and Electronics Engineering and MTech in Power System and Power Electronics. His employment experience includes 6 years of industry experience from ABB Limited, DM Power Electronics, and 8 years of teaching experience. He is the member of IAENG, International Association of Engineering, and member of IEI, Institution of Engineering India. His special field of interest includes facts, devices, and their applications to the power system, FOCS, smart grid, microgrid, grid integration of renewable energy sources. He receives as a remuneration from the CPRI during his MTech project work and receives the appreciation from the customer for the good teamwork. Author of book titled Solid State Fault Current Limiter, Lab Academic Publishing, ISBN 13. A book chapter is named with Advanced Aspects of Engineering Research, International book chapter entitled Effective Utilization of Transmission Line Capacity in a Meshed Network with Series Capacitor up to its thermal limit, a recent study. And he has published so many papers in reputed journals, and he has published the patents also. So kindly I am requesting Professor Anand MH sir to introduce to take over the session.
Thank you, sir.
Please proceed, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for your introduction. And from my side also, I welcome all the participants for this session. Actually, this whatever we are discussing is actually it is very much practiced in industry, and I have gone through it and I have done some work upon to this. That's why I just wanted to have a discussion, and it is not with only simple your troubleshooting subject. It is extended part of your troubleshooting in your BTech study. You have studied troubleshooting of common electrical equipments. No, it is one more extension, generally practiced in industries. Okay, so with this slight background, I will share my this background. I am sharing my this screen itself.
Sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. So root cause analysis to troubleshoot, and it is an industry-oriented application. Many things applied. So what happened? We have to troubleshoot it. I just made it for your thing, one blank sheet after this first page. So you know that what is the importance of troubleshooting, or why we need to troubleshoot certain issues which are happening in the industries or in the household or with generally with electrical engineering. So engineering field we will consider it, and in any of the industry, maybe production, process, product, quality, or any of the industry and with the service industry. So there are different levels of and implementing a different quality improvement programs. It is closely related with the quality. Okay, once any industry, if it is getting more trouble or getting more downtime or getting more breakdowns in the industry, that is useful work hour and not so useful work hour, man hours wasted. See, in industry, any industry or any process or any company, man-hour utilization and capacity utilization. We say man-hour utilization and capacity utilization. Capacity utilization is all their equipments, production related things should be working in tandem. Correct? There should not be any breakage or stoppage which is causing the industry to have a downtime. We say downtime, that is, it is getting down due to some problem, and then production related losses or the production related problems happening, it no industry will anticipate, and that is very much taken very seriously. So nowadays there are different worldwidely used methodologies like PDAC, 8D, 6 Sigma, DMAIC, and 4Q methods, which are all enable the companies to select and combine them for the continuous improvement, so that their productivity increases. And any problem arising, they will do the analysis with all these type of tools: PDAC, 8D, 6 Sigma, DMAIC, 4Q, like all those things. In among all these things, root cause analysis is one such very much used tool. In all these things, root cause analysis is a major portion, and in that for particularly we will see about fishbone analysis and Pareto analysis, like that two things are there. We will try to see all these things in over here, and at the end, if you are very much comfortable and if you are interacting with us, we can do with hands-on training with how can we analyze certain issues. Say some example, one motor failure analysis, some analog type meters rejected, meters are getting failure analysis. That all we can do it in the fishbone analysis and Pareto analysis. We can do it. And before that, you see these importance and other things. And 6 Sigma, 4Q are very much used in many of the companies. Like in ABB, we were using 4Q, and in Toyota they use a 6 Sigma. Like these different companies, they choose different variation. Even this is applicable to any institute or organization wherever management. Even it is very much applicable to any of the organization or the institute. Even in a educational institute, you can apply these methods for continuous improvement and troubleshooting. Whenever we do some troubleshoot, it should be so perfect that it should improve your next process, and it should not repeat it, or it should be reducing your downtime. So those are the things we are going to see it. So in very much old way, you might have seen solving any operational problems. I so told any operational problems that is happening in industry, correct? No, in any of the industry, there may be several operational problems. How do you solve some operational problems? Some from audience, can you say the method of how can we solve some problems? If in your own way, if there are some problems in your institute or whenever you are taking some work from many people, when you are taking some work from too many people, how do you take up any issues related to this, and how can you solve some points related to that in general way? In general, how we will do it? Any problems is there, how we will do it? Or even in industries, old way, how we will solve it?
First, identify
Sir,
the problem.
Yeah,
First, identify the problem.
yeah.
Then, what are the symptoms that the problem is showing?
Yes.
And after that, we can go for the root cause of the problem, sir.
Yes, yes. That is a new technical way and methodological way of solving the problem. Crude way of solving the problem. You want to get some work done as some industry. You are having some industry. You want some work to be done, and it should be done with what you want. Any owner, how what he wants. He doesn't want what is your problem, what happened, all those things. He doesn't want. He wants output. How you can get it in the crude way? How that owner can do get that job? See here. He will punish the or the person has done any problem. No, what he will do? He will punish it, so that others will fear of that and they will not repeat the problem. Correct? No. Somebody is not doing maintenance problem not properly, and he is not attentive in packing or doing assembly. What he will do? He punish the worker for not doing the right job. He may reduce the salary. At that time, what the other people will do? No, no, no. Our owner will punish us. He will ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ in crude way. You will what you say? No. If any problem occurs, he will punish us. He will not pay us. Correct? No, he will punish us and he will pay us. If he has done problem, he will take out the money, and if he has done very good, you can incentivize and you can motivate by giving more money. Correct? No, extra money, bonus, like that you can give, or else you can give prize money for doing a very good job. Like that way he will do. And or else what he can do is he will come and plead you, sir, all my workers, please, my company is undergoing loss due to so many repeated problems and customer giving me so many problems, and rejected materials are getting rejected. Please do it. Good job, you do it consciously, you do it rightly, you do it, so that our materials will not get reject. Quality we should maintain. Like that he may plead it, he may punish it. That's what the 4 P's. Look at here. He may punish it, he may pay extra for the good job, he punish for the bad job, pay for the good job, plead for all the workers, or else that also is nothing. Finally pray to the God. Oh God, please give me some and I should accept all the poor quality and unskilled minds, whatever is there. Then he has to pray for the God. That is what we'll be doing. But all these things will work in some way or the other way, but not continuously and every time, and it may not lead to a good industry relational work. It won't be anything. It will not be adding for a quality. When you want for a quality, you should go with different methodologies or and you should apply certain technical or scientific methodologies to get a job done and quality work done from your people. That is what an industry will do. That's why all these things are happening. That is 4Q. I told no 4Q is 4 quadrants. That is M, measure quadrant, analyze, improve and sustain. He will measure the what is the uh, problem. He will see the what is the loss is happening and analyze it, why this is a breakdown, what is the problem, how much is the loss, and then whether we should improve upon it. You should certain amount and spend your money, you have to spend amount of time you have to spend and while doing analyzing, improving, and so then it has to be sustained. In some industries, do you know that any problem comes, what they will do? Okay, that spare is there, no spare. You put it and run it. Why you are bothered about it? Any some problem, motor problem appears, immediately you change it. Any work material is not working, anything is component is not working, simply you change it and run it. Why you are bothering about all those things? Correct, no? So in that way, when the things are going on, it won't give you the quality or it won't give you any improvement. So overall improvement and understanding of the man and machine is very much important in the industry, so that all will be dealt with root cause analysis. When you do some root cause analysis, you will understand what is the man behavior, machine behavior, or any problem with the human or any problem with the machine. All those things you will come to know, and all together put together they are for the better improvement and quality, better improvement in the work culture, better improved productivity, improved quality, reduced downtime, reduced accidents. You can also have a reduced accidents when you are doing a perfect job and you are analyzing and you are improving it upon, you are reducing the risk of the failure and you are reducing the accidents. This is also a part of your industry portion. So here some industries, what they will do, they use different plans and methodologies for continuous improvement application. As I said, ABB will use 4Q method: measure, analyze, improve and sustain. These are the 4 quadrants, and this is how they will do, and they will improve their quality and analyze the things. PDCA is one more such application, that is P is plan. First you plan it, what is the action required, and do it and check it whether it is improving upon, and then act. So then accordingly you act and get the job done in a very good way. That is PDCA. DMAIC, it is Six Sigma, like that we say Six Sigma. Here they will define the problem. What is the problem? First to analyze or troubleshoot it, you should be able to define the problem, what happened, when it happened. So that all you know, no? In your BE you have studied, when you are troubleshooting, you might have seen job book, correct? Have you came across that job book or else maintenance book? Some people will be maintaining it. So in that they will be noting down what are all the activities, and in certain industries every half 1 hour or day wise they will maintain the record, correct? The job book. In that you can see what is the definition of the problem, then you will see measure it, analyze it, how much it has been come to the loss, or how much is the problem extent, what extent the problem has evolved, developed, what happened to with this development of the problem, correct? If you are not attended that problem, that may grow up, the quantity of problem may grow up, and then it may go beyond your measurable things also. See, then you should see through it, define the problem, measure that problem, quantity, how it is happening, what is happening, how much is that, and analyze it and improve it, and take, that means you should take a good solution for that, to see for the what are the ways to improve it, how we can improve upon it, how to troubleshoot it, and how to make repair that work or the quantity, how to make the improve that quality of that material, all those things you can see. And then controlled way also, that also it should be seen, whether it is happening with whatever the measures you have taken, due to that whether it is in a controlled way it is going it or not, that also you should see. Lastly, all these points you see it: sustain, act, control, these are the things you should go through it, because once in the production related things, it should be very controlled way, sustained way, and in a coordinated way it should go on. Even though you are doing it, there may be chances. Please note that whenever you are doing some action, troubleshooting action or analysis, you may go wrong, correct? Some cases it may be the decision may be going wrong, and it may you may go out of the box, and even if it may be out of order, and it is you have done something and it went on something like that also it may happen. That's why it is you should measure, analyze, improve, control. This is what DMAIC and global 8D, these are generally used by Japanese companies, and even DMAIC also Japanese companies, they will use it. And this is globally adopted 8Ds. These are the points, 8 points. The first point is plan, identify the team who will do it and who has done, or the expert committee team, like that they will do. Like we will do any problem, they will say immediately one team has formed to identify what it has been done. Even Corona or COVID case, what they did. Corona pandemic, COVID-19 immediately came. That is a problem. Now how to troubleshoot it? You identify a team under the guidance of some Dr. Devi Shetty. They made the team, no? And then they define the problem. What is this problem? How to contain the symptom? Look at here. All these things are very much applicable to day-to-day activities or real-world problems. Contain the symptom. Identify the root cause. Which is the root cause? Identify the root cause. It is coronavirus is spreading much faster. What you have to do is choose corrective action. Is what you have to do is lockdown is the major corrective action, like that they came. No, how they will come is they will all go through this process. They are taken with this process. Simply you can't say suddenly some problem came, immediately do, and what somebody will tell, some politician will said no, immediately you have to do lockdown. You have to see that, measure it, analyze it. You can't simply go and do it. Identify the root cause, choose corrective action, implement corrective action. Implement corrective action is lockdown they have imposed, but whether it is implementing it correctly, that all improvement and control is required. Make change permanent, and any correct one thing is going good, and that must be, your change must be permanent, or else take a corrective action and implement corrective action. And recognize the team. Finally, if that job is done, you should recognize and appreciate the team members also. Correct, no? Any troubleshooting team, they, for the job they are doing, it should be appreciated by giving certificate, or getting honoring him, or giving prize money, or some remuneration, we say. All those things can be done. This is how it is being globally adopted. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? What we are saying it? What I am trying to say it.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
So to go next, you see it. I told it is not only simply this thing. You look at here, you can see it. Is it visible? Is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is ABB 4Q basic training. That's what I have gone through it, and requirements, and has delivered results by executing 4Q project. So we have done through it by using a 4Q program. Okay, so it is very much important in our industries. It's been using it. People are using these methods, whatever the methods we said, no, 4Q method, PDCA, DMAIC, Global 8D. I just gave you the action plan for your coronavirus program. So like this, any issues, problem can be addressed and done in a systematic way. Any systematic way you should go it, and that is with in all these things, whenever you are doing the action, here you will be identified with root cause. In all these quadrant we are saying, no, either it will come in second quadrant in 4Q, second or third quadrant, and PDCA, do and check, it may come here in the do and check. DMAIC, it will come in the analyze part. In the 8D point, identify the root cause and choose corrective action. In all these points, one major tool, there are different tools. Once again, I am stressing on it. There are different scientific tools which we will you have to go undergo and you have to see it. And I will just brief you about what is some tools which are used over here. These are fishbone analysis and Pareto analysis. These are, we will be seeing it, or I will just brief about these things. Other portions I will just touch it. So you go through this definition. I have taken it from the internet directly, and it says in science and engineering, root cause analysis is a method of problem solving used for identifying the root causes of faults or problems. Whenever there are faults or problems are there, you can use this root cause analysis in a systematic way in science and engineering field. It is very much widely used in IT operations, telecommunication, industrial process control, accident analysis, in aviation, rail transport, nuclear plants, medicine, etc., etc. In you name it, anything, you can find it. It in very much useful. That's why I shown one of my certificate also. It is very much applied, and people are doing it and using it. Is it clear? What is the root cause analysis? What are the different methods we just saw? These are all the methods which are used for troubleshooting the fault, and you are using it for solving the problems, faults and problems. Whenever there is some faults or problems are there, you can very much go and use it. These methods, those are well known in the industry. So these things you can do it instead of you can crude way, you can go it like this. Okay. Did you got it? What is how we are we can solve operational problems? Even what is this? Now we are praying the God to get rid of the corona. Some people are doing that also. They are making homa, havana, something they are seeing it. And some people are pleading the doctors and the other workers to get things, and say politicians or others are pleading not to get more groups, not to get in a more group, don't spread it, don't be panic, like all those things. These are the other methods of, these are some old way of solving our problems, but those things will not happen. You should analyze it properly, you should know what to do. That's why they are all people will say you should wear masks, social distancing and sanitizing, frequent sanitizing. All those things becomes a corrective actions, contain the symptom, those things. So it's general way. Now one by one we can see it in the engineering application also. We can see, I can show our own work done in that case. Before that, we will go through some just theory related to root cause analysis, and then we will take up some part if time permits. Already 30 minutes over. I will just go through it quickly. So root cause is, you know, that a simple thing is the roots, and then from the root it is deep problems are getting up, correct? No, these are the causes and they are spreading up and they are showing the symptoms outside. What the symptoms you are seeing, that is the deeper is the causes. That's why it is the root causes. First you should go into deep into the problem symptoms, and then it is a causes you can find out, correct? No, what that appears is outer world is only the symptoms or the results or outcome of the problem, you can see it. But when you look into the problem deeper into, then you can see the what are the causes, real root causes. When you go below the surface, see here, deeper into the problem, That is what the root cause analysis. Okay, just not on the surface. If something is achieving here only you take out. Not that. You should go into the deeper, understand the problem and see what is the causing it, what are the causes. Then you should see that those causes should not develop, they should not be coming out, and that should not hamper your tree outside. So root cause analysis generally serves as input to a remediation process whereby corrective actions are taken to prevent the problem from reoccurring. You should also see that it should not reoccur. The name of this process varies from one application domain to another application domain. In different applications, you may say it with the root cause analysis in some other names also, but you will do the analysis in different tools, and that is what your root cause analysis. And according to ISO and IEC 31010, the definition of RCA may include the techniques. So you can include some of the techniques. That's why I was stressing it on to you people. Scientifically, you can go through it and you can use some techniques like 5 whys, failure mode and effect analysis, FMEA. EA is also one such method. Fault tree analysis is also one such method. Ishikawa diagram, Pareto analysis. These are different tools which you can use it for your analysis, root cause analysis. Okay, shall we go ahead? People are there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are there.
Others?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, these are some other methods like that we know. So you can use it for many of the applications. You can see it here on the upper part. You are seeing only symptoms and effects. Okay, and as you go into deeper into the problem, you will be seeing the root causes. So other methods, FMEA, failure mode analysis, also you can do it. What is the failure, which mode it happened, and you can all see that regulatory and safety problems, assembly operation problem, end user performance if there is any problem, engineering interfacing problem, scrap and rework, service problem, why it is coming repeated service, performance, why it is getting down, and all those things you look into the deep, then you can see it. Design error, interface or interactions, there is a problem, customer usage, how the customer uses, that also a problem. No, customer might have roughly handled it, not used in a smoother way, he doesn't know how to use it, that also a problem. No, environment problems, degradation problem, external problems, the man who is using, that person is a problem, sir, other person used it, it was very good, and the method is problem maybe, the material, somebody says poor quality material they have used it, machines, measurement, there may be problem, changes induced, maybe this problem with this, and mother earth also we say environment problem with this, when the temperature changes, that time your equipment may get failure, the process may get hampered, there may be problem in that. So those are the root causes are in the things, design problem, interfacing problem, customer usage, all those things may be a reason for your problem appearing onto a particular case. You should go into deep into the system. That's why troubleshooting subject, it may be a simple subject, but you should know the engineering design, correct? Whenever you are to troubleshoot a motor, you should first understand what is a motor, how it works, what are the types of machines, motors, what is working principle, how it would have gone, what is its nature, characteristic, curves, how it has been done. That all you should know it. As an engineer, you should know each and everything. Then only you can actually give suggestion why it has happened. Simply it means, sir, something has broken, you replace it. That also simple way, no? So giving a solution. Something problem in the motor, yeah, you just replace it. Some meter problem, yeah, you just replace it. Some design problem, yeah, go for another design. So those things needs to be analyzed and rework need to be done. All those things you can do it. And in science and engineering, there are essentially two ways of repairing or solving a problem: repairing the faults and solving the problems. Okay, one is reactive management, another one is proactive management. Okay, even engineering we say there are management also comes into picture, reactive management and proactive management. Okay, and in reactive management, it consists in the reacting quickly after the problem occurs. Once problem occurs, quickly they will say, and by treating the symptoms they will act upon to the problem. This type of management is implemented by reactive systems. I have taken it from the directly from the internet. You go through it. There is a how we can analyze the any science problems or repairing a faults or solving a problems is we can do it by reactive and proactive way. Reactive way and proactive way. So reactive way is once the problem appear, you immediately react to it. What is the problem? Whether it is a coming temperature is increasing, immediately what you will do, you reduce the input itself or you increase the cooling method itself. That's a reactive management. Okay, the goal here is to react quickly and alleviate the effects of the problem as soon as possible. Immediately you will see it and corrective action you will take it. The temperature of the boiler is increasing, what you will do, immediately either reduce the input or else increase the cooling, like that you do. And the proactive management is conversely consists in preventing the problems from occurring. Why the boiler temperature is increasing? The boiler temperature may be increasing due to lack of cooling. Even though you are using the cooling medium, the coolant may not be flowing properly. There may be choking in the problem. Okay, there may be the cooling water may not be sufficient. It may have developed the we say no some water deposit. It may not be flowing properly due to salty water or not having a good proper water, or else furnace why it is the temperature is heating up, and there may be some leakage, insulation leakage problem may be there, small insulating vent may be there. Correct, no? There may be leakage problem or there is insulation, whatever the insulation provided in the furnace, that might have gone out. And that is so it consists of preventing problems from occurring. A small hole, you might have heard the thing, no? A small hole can sink a ship. You might have not noticed it. Small problem, okay, small problem, what will happen? Like that. Many techniques can be used for this purpose, ranging from good practices in design. Please see it. You should also look into design part also. Some people, instead of using the stainless steel bolt, if you are using mild steel bolt, MS and SS, simple case, it give you a lot of trouble. Some simple one nut and bolt in industry, it will give you a lot of problem. You ordered with a stainless steel bolt and your people have not noticed it, whether it is a SS steel, SS also they will say 731, some numbers will say if that should be a particular design bolt you should use it, but you are not used with the proper size and the design calculated value, you might have used other MS bolt and then you will be into a problem. Small nut or bolt will give you a problem. That have already occurred by taking action into this. So the focus is on addressing the real cause of the problem rather than its effects. So you should see whether it is real cause. Then you will find out that, sir, that is not our supply, sir, some third party. You say no, sir, some other party will be. As an ABB person, we see use some small scale, give it to some other small scale industries. They will be providing us some components, and if that component, one of the component is having some problem, you will get the problem. Okay, that is what you have to see the real cause of the problem and then to solve it. Root cause analysis is often used in proactive management to identify the root cause of a problem, that is the factor that was the main cause of that problem. You should identify what was the main factor which was causing the problem. That if you are addressed, it won't reappear and you will save a lot of money, and accidents can be reduced, quality can be improved, the machine downtime can be reduced, efficiency will be increased. All these things are the part of your analysis. That's why troubleshooting is very, very important subject. You just might have seen that for troubleshooting some tools are there, nut bolt, what they will do, ITI people will do. Correct, no? Some engineers, maintenance engineers will be there, they will just do it. If that maintenance engineer has neglected, if that maintenance engineer is not aware of the fact, if that maintenance engineer is not well versed with the skills, then you will get a lot of troubles, repeated troubles. Your efficiency of the system may go down, your production time will be going down. Correct? Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some people. So we'll go it, and then first, within any organization or industry, problem solving, incident investigation, root cause analysis are all fundamentally connected by three basic questions. What is the problem? Why did it happen? What will be done to prevent from happening again? These three questions everyone will ask. Your higher management, engineering means what is the problem? Why it happened? What to be done to prevent it happening? These are the three simple questions, and let's quickly look at who should be involved and when you perform this root cause analysis on any of the issues that you have identified in your production process. So now I will go into deep with the root cause analysis. And root cause analysis, once you need to do you should first have identify the team, and you should frame a team, and that team should carry out further actions. Okay, anyone can contribute to the root cause analysis process and benefit from its tools and principles. So the answer is simple, everyone can involve. Team not simply 3-4 people, but it should involve 3 to 5 members who are all experts in their own field, or where that problem has occurred, near to that. Somebody will say in one industry, steel industry, hot rolling mill is a department. In hot rolling mill department, in that for particular department, motors department will be different. In that problem has occurred, the people who are involved in that process, they should come into picture. Everyone means they, that correct, no? Just to give an example, in final year there is a problem, just like you. Final year EEE department, there is a problem, people who are involved in some students, few students, or all the students, or some few representatives from the school student side, and the class teacher, and then mentor, and then head of the department, they can involve like that. You are all in that. So So that way you should keep it, and the project team should come into picture, and there are general guidelines to keep it in mind. That's why you see here, one person is different, another person is from different, another person, starting from worker. First we will say, what happened? He was the worker, sir. He was near to that when the fault occurred. We will ask him, hey, what happened? He will simply say, sir, sudden it was working well, sir. I was there only. Suddenly some sound came and fuse blown out, like that we may say. Okay, and some other engineer, process engineer may say, so no sir, I was looking into the control system, I was monitoring through the control room only. It was coming at around, the temperature was around 80 degrees, sir. At that time also it was normal. Suddenly it got into, temperature went up to some 85 degree, it came out like that. So the teams are by nature and need cross-functional also. These are all cross-functional maybe. Okay. Who needs to be involved in it? The cross-functional and need and the nature, depending on that, you should identify the people and involve those peoples in the thing. Getting it? Are you getting this thing? And to frame a team should have the specific goal of addressing the problem. That's what I told. Subject matter expert, motor expert, or the main repair person, or the manufacturing engineering, who are all involved in that process. Engineer, quality engineer, or the process improvement specialist, and the manager or supervisor of the process. Who was the in charge, who was the supervisor, who was the worker near to that. They are all should involve in this process of root cause analysis or problem solving thing. Is it clear? Then you need to go ahead with like this. First you should define the event. These are all 6 steps. For root cause analysis, we can generally say, first you define the event. First somebody should say what happened, what is the problem. Define the event, what happened. Then start finding the causes. Immediately you see what are the causes. Suddenly we will say, now I will say, one automated lubricating, one motor, along with the motor, that is a lubricating pump, automatic lubricating pump that was used, and there was a problem that frequent overload tripping and fuses were blowing out. Okay, is it clear what is the event? Sir, we are getting a motor is tripping and fuse is going out, or MCB tripping out, fuse is blowing out repeatedly. That motor is, along with that motor is an induction motor with a large induction motor that is having a lubrication, and that is automated, fully automated system, automated lubrication system, and that is giving you the problem. So then you need to find causes. What are the causes? Then you need to further go and see the what is the root cause of the problem. Then find the solution. What are the, how to address those causes, root causes, give the solution, take the necessary action. And once you have taken the necessary action, whether it is giving you the solution, verify the solution effectiveness. Same way it is also, same way it is giving repeated trippings for fuse blowing, and your action is not proper. Whatever the action you have taken is not good. So this is what some steps to do the root cause analysis. Are you getting it? Later I may involve all of you to do this root cause analysis for the said problem. The problem is in one large motor, induction motor, which is commonly used in industries. We say that's what large induction motors are horses, working hours of industry. You have a motor, and the motor is also very well automated, and that is giving you the tripping, and fuses are also going out. Now it involves both electrical engineer and mechanical engineer. Correct? Are you getting it? Finally, if you want, we can solve it by analyzing it systematically. With your help only, we can solve it. That also we can do it. Exercise with that exercise also we can do it. This is a basic definition. Somebody said, sir, I was working over there. They're near to that machine only. It was giving a, it has given a sound, and then there is a suddenly it stopped. That is fuse blown out and it got stopped. Okay, that layman will say that one. And what the maintenance engineer will say, sir, it was overloaded. That's why it is giving a tripping. That's why the fuses are more current. It is more current flowing. The fuses are blowing out. This is your problem. You find the solution. What is the causes for this? Then you further go through root cause of this. Find the cause. Find the root cause. Find the solution. Take the action. Verify the solution effectiveness. Okay. Is it clear? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the first step, we define the event. The most critical purpose of the step is to clarify what the problem is and define its scope. What is the problem and what is the scope of work? You should define it here only. And an accurate and impartial description of the event is very much required. When we say accurate and impartial, some people will say try to save the others. What they will say, impartial input they may see. ನಿಮಗೆ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಸಂಬಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ಟು ಸೇವ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್, ಯು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ, ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬ್ಲೋ ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಶಾಫ್ಟ್, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬಂತು, ಶಾಫ್ಟ್ ಬ್ರೋಕನ್, ಮೋಟಾರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋ? Like that somebody will say. So that is it. You should not get the impartial description of the event. You should get accurate and impartial description. And it is critical to the success of the process that the team shares a common understanding of the problem. Everyone should get the common understanding of the problem. So take your time at this step to make sure the groundwork is complete and correct. At a minimum, team must gather specific details that provides answer to the queries of the questions like this. You should ask what happened, where did it happen, is it new, is it the first time you are getting, whether it is frequently getting or is it new. So if it is frequently getting, how many times? Correct. Did something change today only? Have you done some changes? Whether it was a usual practice, what impact or consequences are there, you should know it. Who was involved in all this process, that you should know it. Okay, is it clear? What happened, where did it happen? Okay, how it is important to those investigating. Get out of the office and out to the shop floor. Somewhere in the shop floor it has happened, and you go there and ask the person, shop floor person. You go there and ask the person who was near to that. Why you get it? What happened? Where did it happen? Exactly where did it happen? Here, there. Here somebody will say there the fuse at the input, main input side. Correct? No. Incoming side only will be fuse will be blown out. So somebody will say, point out, no sir, it is at electrical department. It happened over there. All those things. So you should see where it happened, what did happen, is it new? Is it new? First time it happened or else repeatedly it is happening? how many frequently, how many times you have observed this, did something changed, all those things you should ask. And then second point is in this find cause, define the event. While defining it, you should take all the questions and the people and then try to find the cause. Second question is find the cause means focus on finding potential causes of this event in question. So whatever the questions you have asked, no, so you will come to know that you got some clarification and you have defined that correct. One motor is getting a failure, it is giving a fuses blowing out, some sound also heard, correct. Then we should see the focus on the finding the causes. Then what you have to do is you should combine all the people. Okay, you should take all the people who are involved, just like we did no, so show no these people, and get brainstorming. We say brainstorming is one of the important tool in solving any type of problem, and brainstorm it or else process map it. Process mapping is from how the process will start, what happens in the next, what happens in the next, where exactly the fault appeared, here like that you pinpointed, and where exactly the point of location, the process mapping, that is what you can do it. And then fishbone diagrams will give you some hint in finding the causes. Okay, so fishbone analysis or fishbone diagram will give you the causes, find the causes here. When you are doing this fishbone analysis, you come to this point. Later we can go ahead with the thing also. You see here, it is the problem only is the effect you are seeing. What is the problem? The motor getting repeated failure with fuse blowing out. And what are the causes? You should see here. Please look at here, upper part. Materials, any material, any method change, any measurements, or what are the frequency of you are visiting, and how many current, how much the current at that time, what was the voltage, measurements, machines, whether the machines, type of the machine or associated machine, the environment. Please look at here, that also sometimes plays important role. Environment or the personnel, the person who is operating, you might have done wrong operation, no, wrongly operated, reverse direction you would have operated, or else you would have not checked it properly. Maintenance people might have not done, and previously also on 3 days or 2 days back only it was maintenance was been done, and now it is a problem. And the person who has done the maintenance, you should have done it properly. Something went wrong in over there. No, all those things you have to see it. These are the causes for the problem. Like that you should go. Any material, I told the material is the motor which is used, induction motor which is used for your work. It was lubricated and it is automatic lubrication. Method is automatic lubrication. Correct. So material is lubrication, oil. Whether it was giving a more temperature at that time, whether how it was cooling temperature, whether you have taken the note of it, how much is the volume of the oil was there. Correct, no? The pressure and quantity of the oil, whether flow of oil was struck, everything you should measure it. What was the reading in the previous day? What was the reading on that day? Readings over the previous 1 week. That are all the measurements. Machines. What type of machine? How frequent it was giving a problem? Have you after the problem? Have you checked the machine? Opened it? Whether the shaft was broken? Whether the bearing problem? Is it correct? No. Any problem in the motor, first they will ask for bearing might have gone. Bearing would have gone. Environment, whether the temperature or the moisture present, all those things you can see it. Personal that is person who was working it, all those things, so we can have it. And then you should move on to next case is you have identified so many problems, then you will get so many problems input to this problem. Correct, arrow marks are these, no? They will give you that this is the input to the problem. So many problems might have input. You are not identified the main root cause. You have identified the causes. You have identified that these are the probable causes. These are the probable causes which are giving you the, which may give you the problem. Next step, what you have to do is root cause. You should identify with this method, with this, say about this, with this method, automatic lubrication or material, lubricating oil, or the person who has to be checked, that person, he is the culprit, like that. You have to pinpoint, identify that. You should see that this is the real cause of problem, and convince that. You should get convinced with the root cause. There are several tools which can help us to reach this goal. There also you can have a, how to identify the root causes. You can use 5 whys. You can ask each method. You can say why, what is the, why is the machine got problem, why it was not giving earlier. Have you checked what happened if after the problem? Have you checked it the motor? Why it was this shaft is bent? Why there is no greasing in the bearings? The material. Why this lubricating oil is very thick? You might have seen, no, in your bike and scooter you will be frequently changing the oil, and once it loses its viscosity, you will see that it has to be replaced. And you can see it why the material has been not lubrication has been not changed, why the temperature was increasing, why you might have seen that see this oil is having so much of dust, the particles are there, you see it like that. You can go ahead. So that is 5 whys. You can ask some histogram also. You can use fault tree, scatter chart, cause and event tree, and Pareto analysis. Like these things you can use it. And I will only talk about this Pareto analysis and 5 whys. We can use it. 5 whys we can use it in a fishbone analysis, and Pareto analysis. We can use those things, and then we can find the root cause of the problem. And then when you are find out what is the root cause by using these tools, you should go to find the solutions. How do you find the solutions? Once again, say go back to your team. All the people sit together, and now it is a time for our minds to the process of attempting to design a possible solution or solutions. One possible solution or several solutions. How we can do is brainstorming, whether what to do, how to do, what can be done. It is why not the process, why not we implement this method, we have to check it. Benchmarking, once again, this is the standards or standard procedure. We have not applied the standard, done with the standard procedure. That's why it has been happened. So follow the benchmarking, follow the standard procedure. Flow chart, you prepare or make and execute a flow chart. First, this should happen. First, the oil level should be at to this level. Then only the flow should start. Then only the motor should start. Like that, you make a flow chart. Give it to the person who is operating the equipment or the component. Process chart, flow chart. You make a particular flow chart. Next step, next step, next step. What happens next? What happens next? If there is a problem, what you should do? Correct? No. If else. You have seen. You are familiar with the flow chart, no? That flow chart is not only useful in your programming, just simple programming. It is very much helpful in real world application, and we have used it in many of the process. Process should go from any process industry, they follow the flow chart. Is it clear? Understood? you should go with the flow chart. You can do the brainstorming, you can do the benchmarking, you can do why not the process, we can change the process and flow chart, all those things you can make use it to find the solutions. In step 4, now you are proposing certain solutions, and then what you have to do, once the solution whatever you have discussed, select a suitable solution and implement it and take a corrective action. Take action. The intent of step 5 is to implement the proposed solution that the team has been created. Particular team, I gave the example of even the Corona task team, what they have formed and what they have done, taken the solutions that needs to be flowchart or other benchmarking. Now they are all telling what we are doing, whatever the WHO guidelines we are given, taken, that we are following, and whatever it is happening in England, that we are following. Other countries, what they are doing, that we are following. Some people discuss, no, why we have to give above 45 years age old people only first, why we started, why not we started. See, these are all will go through different levels. They have done it, analyzed it, and then they have made the set of operating procedure, operational thing. Then only they have taken the decision. Okay, when we are talking about such a larger quantity of a problem, you need to have take it, analyze it, go in a systematic way, then only you can take it. Otherwise, those things cannot be addressed. Problems cannot be addressed. And this is the Corona problem is a first time problem. Somebody will say that, oh no, it was in the first wave, second wave. So who was knowing it? Who has seen it? Who was the expert in this? Who has the solution? So like that. And as you come to our engineering problem, what is happened in the motor, what happened to this fuse bulb blowing out, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer sit together and take a corrective action and implement it. Further, the team must take steps to ensure the sustainability of the change. Once it has been done, it should be sustainably followed. After 10 months, somebody will go out or one person resigned. After that, the same problem is repeating. It should be sustained over a period of time. It should not be repeated. And using that also you can do it by using an impact effort matrix. How much is the impact? How much is the effort we have put? And force field analysis, like that also we can use it. These are very helpful tools for the step. See here, this also you can do is implement the proposed solution, and you can see that how much is the impact, how much is the effort we have put, whether it is giving out the required amount of the result, how much the effect, how much is the effort. Impact effort analysis you can do it, whether it is we have taken medium, low effect and low effort, you will get a low effort only, low output only. You take a strong effort, put your effort, and you can see the impact effect in a stronger way. How much is that's what we say, no? Loosely they have done the what is that? They have done lockdown. There was nobody was following the lockdown. There was a very much lesser effort from the government side. There is very less effort from the people. Your output is also lesser only. That way you can analyze it, and the team must be willing to avoid prematurely concluding that the problem was solved. This is very important. You should analyze it till the end. Last step is very important. You should not prematurely conclude that yes, the problem has been solved. Finally, we need to ensure the changes and improvement. Stick to it and assess the solution effectiveness. Finally, you should also assess it, how much it has been improved. Simply, if you are solving so much of solving the problem to get just 5 rupees effect, or simply we say a percentage effect, then what is the use of conducting all these procedure? You should assess the solution effectiveness, how much we solved, how much we saved, how much we restricted the spread of the problem. Correct. So that is what we can say. In this step, we measure and assess the effectiveness of our implemented solution. This requires us to turn a critical and analytical eye on the solution to confirm that it has worked. You should critically and analytically see it. Okay, that should be done. And if it has been done, then what finally you can congratulate the team. Project conclusion has arrived and you can celebrate it and you can see it. I have done completely and I have achieved some work. You are given some responsive solution to the problem, and that is you have taken you have seen the define the event problem, you have understood, find the causes, file, you have seen the causes, what are all the probable causes, then you have identified among those what is the root cause, you have taken a particular solution, that particular action you have taken, several required actions you have taken, and you have seen that it is giving a results and the solution, and you have verified that the result is very good, then it is done, completed. So is it clear? This how we can go, and I have not shown or solved the problem. Hope we can see it in the next sessions or other sessions, or how we will see it, because it is once again it will take some time, and you can investigate it, and then I have to go through it, and I have shown some, you can see it, I have put it here in the 4Q project. We have measured fishbone analysis we have done, and we have identified the particular cause, and then we have taken suitable action to improve. Okay, who are all responsible? We can make a team. See here, Ananda MH and Dhruvam Thakur, who are all responsible for that. They have taken it, and then once again sustainability, we have analyzed it. So from look at here, from the Q1 it was almost around 15 mark, 15 and above 15 mark. Now it has came down to 5, below 5. So that's how you can see it as a statistical way of we are doing it. That is a numbers way it was there. That's why we have done it. Other also we can do it. It gives you a good statistical report. See here, Q1 we measured what is the number of problem measured, seen that so many problems of appearing. Then we have done fishbone analysis, done why, we have seen why it is there, probable causes, and identified one major problem, and we have implemented certain set of procedures. Please look at here, and then it has been an improvement in the Q4 sustainability. Whether it is sustaining, we have seen together months together, we have seen it August, September, October, November, December, and it should give you a sustained way. So that way you have to go it. So this is what you can do it in a systematic way. For that I told I given some problem, that is, imagine an investigation into machine that stopped because it overloaded and the fuse blown. This is the problem I have given. For this also we can go ahead and we can do with fishbone analysis, and then we need to go and do this work by using certain tools. Are you able to see that whatever I'm seeing it, doing it in the screen? See here, fishbone analysis, you can do it. That is an interactive tool. We can use this and we can do. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Pareto analysis also is there. You can go ahead and do the Pareto analysis. You can see it, Pareto analysis, we can do it. That way you can do Pareto analysis. Once again will give you this problem, and motor investigation Pareto analysis, I have done it. That we would have machine stopped because of overload and the fuse blew. This we can do it and hands on. You will come to know how to do it, or we can see other solutions also. Okay. Okay, sir. Sir, I think it's already 1.5 hours.
Okay, sir. I'll give whatever. Close it.
Yeah, because we may see all those tools involvement and people have to involve.
Yeah.
And
so we'll arrange like this.
Yeah.
Then that can take this.
Yes.
Extension.
Yes.
Just a minute. So on behalf of colleague, I, Professor Prajan, this opportunity to give vote of thanks. So we would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. P. Shamraju sir, for providing all this facility and supporting to organize this event. We also thank Vice Chancellor Dr. M. Dhananjaya sir, Registrar Dr. N. Ramesh sir. We thank our Director R&D, Dr. Divakar sir, for his continuous encouragement and supporting to the organize such events. We would like to thank our Dr. Raghusian, Assistant Director, School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, for providing the facility, support and encouragement towards organizing the session. I would like to thank Professor Anand MH for his sharing industrial experience with our students and faculties. And we are expecting so many expert lectures from you, sir. I would like to thank Aditya Balaji for involvement in taking up and organizing the program. We thank the coordinators and all the staff members involving for the successful conduction of this session. And thank to my dear students for the for attending this session. Thank you all.
And finally, I would also thank all the participants. With your participation, only I prepared this PPT. Without this, I would have not prepared this. For this session only, I have made the PPT and I shared some of my views. If any suggestions are also there, and for me it is welcome. Please give us your valuable some suggestions in which way we can go ahead. What are the things needs to be done? If you feel something needs to be shared, you can also share with my email ID. You know our email ID, official mail ID. Also, you can respond it. Anyone would like to say some few words over here? Anyone would like to share their views or suggestions?
Yes, sir. It was a very informative and knowledgeable lecture, sir. And a lot of concept has been cleared, sir.
Any queries are there means then that also you can ask.
Yes. Anything you want to ask related to these things? Anyone would like to share some views or would like to ask the questions related to the topic? That are encouraged. Anyone is not there, and I would like to complete it by saying a thank to you people. Thank you for patience listening, and I hope at some stage you may come across this type of tools or the opportunity to use these things. That time you may feel it very good, and I pray that you also come to some solving certain problems using the scientific tools like this, then in that way it is very helpful to all. In total, it's a engineering society. In total, we are also will be helpful so that we are at least some part has reached to you people. Okay, thank you one and all. Thank you, sir, for Dodbasappa sir, and thank you Aditya Balaji sir for inviting me and giving me some opportunity to discuss with our students, and even our MTech students have came and attended it. It's a very good sign, and I thank all the participants. Thank you, Dodbasappa sir. We can conclude it. You can.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving this, sharing your knowledge with our students. Thank you very much, and we are expecting these type of expert lecture in future also, sir. Thank you very much for giving your knowledgeable inputs to the students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.